Senator Sani Jibrin. My dear colleagues, we are on number 3 on the agenda, which is the chairman's opening remarks. And my remarks will be very brief. On behalf of my colleagues, I want to welcome the Managing Director / CEO of the North Central Development Commission and members of the management team to this budget defense meeting. You would observe that many of our colleagues, senators, who are members of this committee are unavoidably absent because the Senate is on recess, but because we attach a lot of importance to this committee, we have selected this meeting for today so that we can approve your estimates and then allow you to start your work in earnest for the benefit of our people. Most of the other commissions that were inaugurated at the same time with you have also begun their activities. And so it's important that we from the North Central would equally would have wished that we also kickstart our own activities so that we can catch up with your sister regional development commissions. So we have received apologies from many of our colleagues. And in our own tradition here, once apologies are given, it means you are in attendance. So we have formed a quorum by virtue of the apologies that we have received. And in the course of this meeting, some of our colleagues will also be joining us. One has already entered. So we are good to go. So on behalf of my colleagues, I want to once again congratulate you for your appointments in your various positions in the leadership of this commission. We hope that you work together as a family for the benefit of our people and for the development of our region. Thank you very much. At this juncture, I will... Distinguished Senator, you know what else?
Let me start by appreciating this committee for screening us and then allowing us to be inaugurated the last 30 days. On behalf of the management and board, we want to express our profound appreciation to the committee for screening us and now trying to again look at what we are supposed to do. Let me start by saying that this is our first major budgetary defense as a commission. We are the youngest among the 6 other commissions to be screened and inaugurated a few days ago. And we want to again thank you for finding time and allowing us to come and do this defense. Mr. Chairman, sir, and members of this committee, North Central Development Commission was given an envelope of 140 billion for the 2025 fiscal year. And it was an envelope, as a management and board, we were able to sit down with our technical team, be able to break it down to present before this honorable committee. The document has been circulated through the clerk of this great committee, and I will crave the indulgence of the chairman of this committee to allow me to go through what we want to lay before this committee. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the breakdown of our budget for the 2025 fiscal year. The total expenditure envelope that was given to us is 140 billion. We are proposing before this committee a personnel cost of 2,920 million, which is made up of the salary for our staff at the commission of 2,023,400,000. Again, the consolidated salary is 2,023,400,000. The allowances we are proposing and social contribution to our personnel is 896,600,000. Moving forward, other allowances the chairman and members, we are proposing 515 million. Out of it, the social contribution we are also proposing is 381,600,000. The National Health Insurance Scheme for our staff and other personnel, we are proposing 119,250,000. Our contributory pension scheme, we are proposing 238,500,000. The employee compensation scheme is 23,850,000. Mr. Chairman, sir, these are personnel related. Our overhead costs in the proposed budget that we are laying before this committee is 37 billion, 80 million naira. And this is made up of the travel and transport general, 9,123,193,546 naira. Local travel and transport others, we are proposing 3,296,063,665 naira. International travel and transport training, we are proposing 2,194,792,269 naira. International travel and transport orders, 3,632,337,612 naira. Mr. Chairman, sir, utilities general, we are proposing 4,015,143,743 naira.
Okay. Let me help you.
Okay, sir.
Going through.
So, looking at the comprehensive document before the chairman and these esteemed members of this committee, based on your directive, the personnel cost, Mr. Chairman and others, is 2,920,000,000 as proposed before this committee. Overhead cost is 37,080,400,000, while the capital is 100 billion. Mr. Chairman and members, if you add this together, will amount to the 140 billion as proposed. The details are so attached. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, MD.
Which colleagues, invited guests once again, the MD, the EDs, and others. I've listened to the MD's presentation. I'm sorry to say that I have some issues with this presentation. For any budget, okay, there must be basic assumptions. Those assumptions are the basis for which all these figures are derived. All I can see here are figures. There are no assumptions. No assumptions for personnel, wherein, for example, you will tell us the number of staff, okay, junior, senior, management. No assumptions for recurrent, operational expenses. There are no assumptions. No assumptions for capital expenditures, okay. I cannot make sense out of these figures because they are just coming from nowhere. And you know, whatever we are doing it for posterity, for record purposes. When auditors, for example, come to audit this company or this agency, they will have no basis because the figures are just thrown there. Normally, the auditors will start first from the assumptions, okay, and see whether or not the assumptions are even reasonable. I don't know how these figures were derived, but between you and I cannot make sense out of them because there are no basic assumptions. And there are even no footnotes. You know, if there are no assumptions and maybe, for example, there are footnotes when you talk of maybe consolidated salary. I will now put a footnote. And underneath you say, okay, consolidated salary means this, that, means this, means that, means this. That the person can interpret it readily. So it is difficult for me to comprehend this budget because there are no basic assumptions, there are no assumptions at all. Then going down, I don't know, you say the rent of office. I was made to understand that the national state government has given you an office free, has given you a free office. So why are you making provision for rent of office here? Almost 5-something million, when the office has been given to you on a platter of gold. You know, that is why I said that there are no assumptions makes this budget very defective. Because that ordinarily should have come in. For example, when we now say, okay, rent, under the rent, you now say, okay, the national state government has given you a property, so we are not renting it. Okay, that assumption, that one will see clearly from there, okay, that this is what has happened. But as it is, you say rent, and you just decided to plant 5-something million there. Then the period, you know, usually budgets are supposed to be done within a particular period. Is this budget from now till end of the year? Is it from now till end of the year? That is from September, for example, to end of this year? Because we want to run the same budget cycle with the federal government of Nigeria, your major financier. Okay? And it's supposed to run from January to December. So what I expect to see here is these figures are supposed to be the figures from now, maybe from September or from August till the end of this financial year, December. And then by December, towards the end of December, you now come up with your budget for 2026. Okay, that is the way it should be. So, what are these figures representing here? Are they figures from August or from September till end of the year, or they are figures for the entire financial year? We also need to know. Thank you very much.
Distinguished colleagues, top management of NCDC. I think that listening carefully to the vice chairman of this committee, there are basic details that are required, and I am tempted to ask at what point is this committee going to be availed of all the details. For instance, you're talking about capital budget, you allocating lump sums for whole-scale rehabilitations and constructions and the rest of them. The details are not here. And I don't know, like you said about assumptions, Mr. MD, these electricity charges, telephone charges, internet access charges and the rest of them, they are for what and for which period? Because if we are talking about 2025 budget, then certainly I'm at a loss as well we have come about these figures. So I think that we can concede it to you that you are a new agency, and the temptation is there to assume that given the routine nature of budgets, that we can just copy and paste and present. I think that's exactly what I'm seeing here. I think the ED Finance will have a lot of explanations to make because this is not an isolated budget. This Senate has dealt with so many budgets and the rest of them, and the formats are very, very clear. This agency is not going to be an exception. On a general note, I want to congratulate all of you, individually and as a community, that the world is becoming increasingly competitive. You will recall that this Development Commission was only meant at a point for the exigent situation in the Northeast. And because of the widening dimension of what has been happening in the Northeast, it became necessary to establish same in all the other geopolitical zones that have been affected by devastations arising from activities of bandits and kidnappers and the rest of them. And so it becomes therefore necessary to realize that we are becoming competitive, and development centers have been established in the zones to take care of peculiar problems of the zones. And so going forward, I think that our focus should be, what do we do to mitigate the consequences of insecurity in our zone? So we must not be left behind. And so while we can accept that, yes, for most of these things that you have put here, recurrent, especially overhead and the rest of them, they are necessary for you to take off. But I think that our concentration at this level of the Development Commission should be how to develop our places that have been affected by activities of agents of insecurity. And so again, like I said, congratulate you. You've been selected from your various areas on your own merits, and it is expected that you should look around other development agencies in the country and ensure that North Central does not lag behind. So once more, I wish you well, but I want you to know that this assignment is not going to be business as usual, because it's a special agency and special attention is going to be paid to it. How are you faring? Let us not be carried away by the new nomenclature and just assume that it's another agency. It's a special agency, and a lot is expected of this agency. And we here at the level of the Senate, you can be sure that we are here and prepared to support you in any area that you require our support. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
Like I said during my brief introduction, this is a development commission that was actually necessitated because of some strategic needs of the North Central Zone. And this is the very first time we're meeting with you. We are not going to say much on this aspect, but what I want you to understand is that this commission is a baby of the National Assembly, and within the North Central Zones are distinguished senators of the Federal Republic of Nigeria representing various senatorial constituencies. It is our understanding that when you come on board, you will be able to relate with all of us, but in particular, senators representing that zone, which means we must be able to get a report back by the senators representing that zone that the needful is being done. It will not be a good story for all of us if at the end of the day, the chairman of the committee reports about you to the committee and maybe subsequently to the Senate. It is important to relate with the leadership of the committee and the remaining members of the committee. But in particular, I want to emphasize, in particular, senators from that zone must be taken into account, must be taken along. I know these are challenging needs. They are challenging needs. These are very challenging times, particularly the security aspect in northern Nigeria, particularly North Central. So I hope at the end of the day, when you come back to defend the next budget, this committee will oversight the implementation of this budget, and will make no doubt that we are going to do a very thorough job in respect to this commission, because our people need attention. Our people deserve attention. Our people need protection. Our people need development. So it is important that you preoccupy your mind of delivering the deliverables, democratic deliverables, so that by next year this time, we'll be hailing you for a job well done. Mr. Chairman, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, distinguished Senator Ningi. I think we're done this side. Can we shift to the... Okay, MD.
Yes. Thank you very much, Chairman and members of this esteemed committee. I would like to start by appreciating all the observations raised. They are fundamental to any budget process. And I want to start by responding in this manner. It is true, sir. A robust budget is supposed to have this assumption. In fact, we do have, particularly for the personnel. It's just that it's not attached. We are proposing a take-off personnel number of 200. 200 that we have applied to the head of service. And we are applying for the waiver. What stopped us, we did not get the approval yet from the office of the head of service. And because of the need for us to push this budget process forward, and we had to submit as it is. So we are profoundly regrettable for not attaching the assumption of the personnel cost. But I want to assure this committee that it was based on the assumption of 200 personnel with 60 senior staff and then junior 140. Well, still, the latter is before the head of service of the Federation. On the issue of the rent of offices, Mr. Chairman and members of this esteemed committee, yes, it is true. I want to also put on record and to acknowledge the benevolence of the governor of Nasarawa State for availing us a temporary office to take off. However, sir, based on the act establishing the commission, we are expected to open state offices called coordinating offices in all the 6 states, including FCT. Again, the commission is supposed to even have a zonal office in the federal capital here in addition to the FCT office. So the provision of the offices does not stop in the one that the Nasarawa State has given us. It extends beyond the one in Nasarawa to also accommodate the 6 states location, including FCT. So perhaps that is why this esteemed committee is seeing the issue of rent for offices appearing in the proposal. Again, we apologize for not putting the assumptions beneath the budget proposal. Similarly, sir, regarding the period of the operationalization of this budget, yes, it is true. We are coming just barely 20 days ago, like in my opening remarks. This is a 2025 budget fiscal year that was handed to us as an envelope. And that is why we thought it wise to really break it down into actionable and cost centers. So for the period of this presentation, it is for the 2025 fiscal year. The end of the budget also will flow like any other budget at the federal level. So if it ends by December, of course, that is why maybe if this committee approves it, we will quickly also commence implementation within the next 3 months. But if federal government extends it beyond December, which is not within our purview as a commission, we will follow suit. But the idea is that this is for a 2025 fiscal year, it's not for 2026 yet, sir. I think that is the explanation I can give for that one. Then for the details, the second distinguished senator asked for the details again, as highlighted. The capital includes the provision for capital activities for the same fiscal year of 2025. If we go down, we've been able to group them into the recurrent and the capital position of our intendment in the commission. So basic details, again, are not given, but your distinguished senators, you will recall, very soon we will be going out and also meeting some of our critical stakeholders, which include the senators from the zone and also beyond, how we can harness the priority areas from our various stakeholders in the state, so that we will come back again and align them. So what we have done is to identify critical capital heads that will accommodate some of these findings that will come and then put it into the budget. So we are not going outside the 2025 alignment. For the electricity and internet charges, for which period it is still within the same 2025 period. We are thinking we need to work with the electricity today, sir. You know, even in the Lafia office that has been given to us, the power supply there is epileptic. We are thinking if we need to take up, we need to seriously have a generator, a standby, and be able to also pay for the electricity bill. And if we are opening offices in the 6 states and FCT, certainly we need to provide also for their electricity provision as well as internet charges and the like. On the issue of security, yes, sir, it is true. We're in the North Central geopolitical region. We're one of the most heated zone as far as security is concerned. If we watch closely, Benue of late, Plateau, and even a few days ago, Kwara State, have been hit by this issue of insecurity. So we are making this provision in the budget, not overlooking the pressure we are getting in terms of our security insecurity impact in the zone. So we provided these issues just to take care of the insecurity that we are facing in the North Central geopolitical zone moving forward in 2025. The rain, whether it's in million or billion, yes, sir, like I've highlighted, the rains are in billion because of the housing, the rain surge in the country now. If we are hiring 6 to 7 or 8 offices in the 6 states and Abuja, certainly the cost of the rent will be accommodated in that aspect. And so we are making this provision, putting in mind that we need to get the offices, because we might not get another law in some states to give us free offices. Even if they do give, we don't know the conditions yet. And that's why we are conscious of the fact that we need to make a very profound provision for the rent to accommodate some of these offices. And on the issue of the lubricant, why we have it that much, sir, within the mandate of the commission based on the act, we expect to go out and tour and engage with all the stakeholders, including even our senators. And this will involve traveling the nooks and crannies of this North Central geopolitical region, which will also provide provision for the consumption of lubricants and other things, and as well as powering our generators. So, and then the fueling of all the cars. So I think it was based on that wisdom in our own way, we thought it is better for us to make that provision. And I want to finally thank distinguished Senator from Bauchi. I want to assure you, sir, we are very much aware of the efforts of this very Senate chamber. We are indebted to you. We know the efforts you have put. We don't want to take this for granted. We are profoundly grateful, and we want to assure you with the management and the board that there's nothing we can do without recourse to the Senate and our members of this commission. So we thank you for these remarks, and we won't take it for granted. We want to appreciate all of you for the observation. Thank you very much, sir.
Mr. Chairman, if Nasarawa state government can donate a property for this purpose, all the other states must donate one property each. We're not going to rent. We'll make it conditional. They must donate a property each. Okay? Because, yeah, they must donate a property each. And for the FCT, sorry, sir. Sorry, please.
No, not you.
So, no, okay. And for the FCT, we will prevail on the FCT minister through the senator representing FCT to ensure that we get a property. Whether he likes it or not, he must give us that property. The senator representing FCT must take that as a task. So be it.
To the office of the secretary to the government, getting approvals. Please, anytime that you are going to write to him, copy ahead of service, copy this committee leadership. Anything that you needed and you send letters, copy the committee leadership for a follow-up. The second thing is that I agree to some extent with the suggestions of my dear brother, the deputy chairman, on the offices block office blocks from the FCT, but it's not a must. What you do, write to all the governors, including the FCT ministers, and copy the leadership of these committees when you wrote those letters. It is the responsibility of senators from that state to make sure they follow it up. And if given, fine. If not given, that's why this budget remains. So it is not a must, but we urge them to please provide office accommodation so that we utilize this rent in other critical sector that requires our attention.
And the issues they have put forward for the attention of the leadership of the commission. And I also want to thank the MD for his response to the issues raised. I will, however, urge us not to make it look as if the governors must give us offices. It is good to approach them to support the commission, but the commission has a budget, and the budget is to be expended. Therefore, if there is a support coming, it will be appreciated. But if there is none, we can't force the governors to donate offices, because this is a federal government commission, and the budget is given to you to run it. So we can only make a case. If they don't give us, fine, we can still move on. And then, the MD, while you were responding to the concerns raised by my deputy or vice, you mentioned something that is very crucial, and I want us to emphasize that this budget is too general. We want to find a situation where we are able to look at projects per state and then figures attached to them in a manner that will do justice to all the North Central states. And a look at it should give us a clear picture that education, this is what is going for Benue, this is what's going to Plateau, this is what's going for Kwara, this is what's going to FCT. Health, this is what is going, this is what, you understand what I'm talking about? We want that level of specificity to be able to assess progress done. And if there are gaps, we should also be able to trace it and know why there are gaps. But as presented here, it is very, very general, and it does not give us a clear picture. That is what my vice meant when he said there should be basic assumptions so that we can have the parameters to assess the performance of your budget in this sector and in that sector. So for now, we will take it, and state by state too. So now we take it that this is just a general framework of what you intend to do. So subsequently, ED Finance and your management should sit down and itemize these programs and projects on a state by state basis to ease our understanding and also assess our oversight responsibility over what you are doing. I think this is a safe place to stop for now. You want to say something? 40 billion to this committee for consideration. After a careful look at the issues contained in the budget and the eloquent presentation by the MD and his team, the committee has approved the budget of 140 billion as presented by the committee, and the capital component is 100 billion naira, while 40 billion is for recurrent and overhead, totaling 140 billion naira. This is the budget for North Central Development Commission for 2025 appropriation year. Thank you very much. The meeting is adjourned.
Motion for adjournment.